All right, welcome back to another review. Today, we're going to be talking about the house techno producer and engineer from originally from Hamburg, but he resides in Berlin right now. And he's got a beautiful state of the art studio, music studio, that he helps others complete their albums, singles, whatever you need in that department. He can hook you up. Also, he is an educator of DAW systems and being able to bring together a lot of high end producers in the techno genre and to like a sort of like a camp where you can come bring your stuff and you can get firsthand help with your music, whether it's house, techno, any kind of like electronic genre. He if you see him on Instagram, there's a you can actually ask him, and his name is Hannes Bieger, and he for the most of his time that he spends time on is producing music in his studio for others. But when he does get the chance on his own terms, he likes to go to different locales, different cities throughout the world, and takes his stuff with him, and he plays live electronic shows. And I'll include some of those links that you can hear him in those live electronic shows that he does. So Hannes Bieger, he put out he had time to put out an album in his busy schedule, and it is in a sense it's called Pele. Pele is a powerful volcanic goddess, or that's what it means, and it has this album has 6 songs on it. Pele. Semeru is I think a volcanic mountainous area in South Asia somewhere, I think. I might be wrong, but it is Semeru is a volcanic mountain somewhere in I'm thinking South Asia. Then there's vent as in volcanic vents, steam coming out of the vents. Then song number 4 is Poem for the Planet, featuring Ursula Rucker. She did like a spoken poetry to the music, which is actually pretty fascinating. It's really good. Out of this entire album, that's probably one of the highlights of the album, with Ursula Rucker's poetic verses that she puts towards Poem for the Planet. Poem for the Planet, as in, let's try to save the planet from dying, right? Be nicer to the planet. And song number 5 is Miocene. Miocene as the geologic age of Earth. And during the Miocene, there were a lot of big animals, dinosaurs, right? And of course, volcanoes. And then song number 6 is Pluton. Pluton is a term for magma, for a volcanic magma that is underneath the ground, and it doesn't come up through the volcano. It stays underground, and it solidifies into a rock shape turns out to be igneous rock. And because it hardens underneath the underground, you know, before it comes up, and because of that solidification, it is called Pluton. So those are the 6 songs on the album, and I've been listening to this album for many days now, over 2 weeks actually, and I'm totally impressed with the quality of the music. It is essentially this album is what they called in the 70s a concept album, where everything, all the songs fit into each other. They all tell a story, and the album art of this album is a volcano exploding, and so it all ties into this kind of volcanic story. And the my favorite songs off the album are the first song, Pele, and then I also like song number 2. Pele is like a song. It's a techno house track, which you can feel the tension building up in the song. And then on song number 2, Semeru, which I just remembered, Semeru is a stratospheric volcano. There's different types of volcanoes. Stratospheric is the one that explodes upwards, up. Then there's another volcano which actually goes out, but it's one of those that shoots straight up, and that's the Semeru volcano. But back to the music, Semeru, with the tension building up on Pele, all of a sudden on song number 2, Semeru, all the tension explodes. So you can, within the music, it's like, you know, it's just coming out. It's essentially exploding, right? The volcano. And song number 3 is Vent, steam coming from the volcanic mountain. It's interesting. It's more of an ambient sort of. It kind of gives you a break from song number 1 and 2, because song number 1 and 2 are on song number 1 there's that big tension, and song number 2 it just explodes and it is really intense, and song number 3 kind of mellows it down with the steam coming out of the volcano, and it happens to be kind of like ambient techno music, for Vent. It's a good track, although I don't like it as much as I do Pele and Semeru. Although if you like ambient, you will love it. I for one love ambient music as well, so there you go. After the ambient track, then it goes into Poem for the Planet, which starts off with synthesizers, and then Ursula Rucker starts talking her poem, and as her poem progresses, you can see how it clicks into the song itself and kind of makes sense. It's a beautiful poetic song, including the music. The music is top notch. Mind you, this music is made by Hannes Bieger in his studio, in his state of the art studio. I'll leave a link and show you a picture of his studio. It's beautiful. It's in Berlin. So no, song number 5 is Miocene. It's kind of like Vent. It's more ambient like and more down tempo, but I actually like it. I like it more than Vent. Vent is, like I said, ambient techno. Miocene is more of kind of, well, I like a hard house down tempo beat. Um, and it just progresses along so beautifully. Miocene is really nice. And then song number 6, Pluton. It's the last song on the album, so it kind of the album ends on a high note in that it goes back to that very aggressive forward style in your face music. And Pluton does a great job um, in asserting its amazing beats and synthesizers, and the way Hannes Bieger, he has this like upright what are they called? I can't. They're called analog. Well, he plays on an analog synthesizer, but there's also a board where you can put switches, and it just slipped my mind what it's called. It's analog. Well, you know what I any electrician electronic musician would would definitely say, "Oh yeah, I know what that is." It's like a switchboard, right? You connect the two wires, and it adjusts, and it delays and reverb and everything, whatever you know, so many different tricks of the trade, and ways you can plug in that synthesizer into and connect it to another module, which totally makes the synthesizer sound even better, essentially. So yeah, that's pretty much the album. I would say it is like I would say progressive house, hard house, techno album. It's, like I said, a concept album. All the songs are related, as into volcanic in some way or form. Like it's about volcanoes, and I think Hannes does a really good job. That you can hear the quality. It's all played on analog equipment, and I'll include a link of him playing a portion of Poem for the Planet, which you can take a look and you'll see. I'm sorry, it's slipping my mind right now as far as what the synthesizer the synthesizer with the board, the switchboard, where you can kind of switch it around and see how it affects the synthesizer. But yeah, the as far as the rating goes, I would give it a really high rating. I would say about 8.5 out of 10 is a good thing, good rating for this album. It is it's like 6 songs, and most of the songs are more than 10 minutes long, so they're really long stretched out songs that, in a way, let's Hannes improvise throughout the 6 pieces of music. And at first it has kind of like a structure at the beginning, and then at the end it kind of he improvises and goes goes out, you know, and just makes he really ties it in on each track at the very end. It's an amazing album. You should try it. You should hear it, and check out his. I'll leave those links. You can check out his studio and his homepage, and check him out. He's a really good techno producer from Berlin, originally from Hamburg, but he relocated to Berlin, and through the years he's built up this amazing state of the art studio, kind of like Lieb. Oliver Lieb, which is in the Black Forest, deep in the Black Forest. Oliver Lieb also has a state of the art studio, music studio that he plays from. But for this video, check him out, Hannes Bieger. He's on Instagram, and give me a thumbs up and let me know what you think about this musician. And if you like him, if you've seen him before live, he goes out and plays live synthesizers, kind of like Kebu, Kebu, similar to Kebu. But so that's about it for this time. I want to stress that you should definitely check this album out. It's really good. If you put it on good speakers, you'll really love it a lot. And I'll see you next time in the next review. Thanks for listening. Bye bye.